Hey, welcome to Movie Community College. I am the professor, and we're going to be doing a little movie review here. The film is Bobby. It's from 1973. It is a kind of a romantic film. I would say it's probably a groundbreaking film from what I could gather for the time. 1973, I would say filmmaking was a lot different back then. We see it in the trailers. I know when you guys, my friends here, say, "Hey, check out this film or that film," and it's older, and I kind of hate on the trailer. You point out to me, "Well, this is an old trailer. They don't do trailers like that anymore." And I understand that's a very valid point. Filmmaking back in the 70s was a little rough compared to the standards that we have. There was no CGI. Things were expensive to go on set for. So what you had here, I would say probably the one negative that I saw in the film was just kind of staging of shots, but that's very common in America. Regardless of genre where the film is made, it's just that time period, where you have something which should be a real, and a scene where there should be like a real sunset behind you. Very common in this era to have a painted mural to kind of look like a sun because they didn't have the resources or the ability to film it like that. And they were these big canvas kind of rolling boards that they could kind of just move in and out and use for different films. That was the one negative. This film starred Dimple Kapadia, Rishi Kapoor, and I will say this about the film. Very good film. I thought Dimple Kapadia stole the film. This is her debut, from what I understand, and she was adorable in the film. She was absolutely adorable. I loved her singing. I loved her dancing. When I watched her performance and I isolated it away from the background or away from the filmmaking, techniques of the day, she looked timeless. She really did. She looked like she could be, like this could be now. There was no drop off in skill. I was reading a little thing about it where they called her the chubby Dimple Kapadia. And I was looking at, like, chubby, how the world has changed. She's chubby? Like, no way. She's like normal sized, like I was blown away by that. But this film, what this film had, I think is a great story regardless of any of the aesthetics that you see in the filming process. It's a great story. It's a story of love. It's a story of forbidden love. It's a story, I think, that challenged India at the time of dealing with the caste system, of dealing with social classes, because you have this boy and girl who are falling in love. The boy comes from a very rich family. I believe I watched the film without subtitles. I couldn't find it with subtitles. My guess is he's a wealthy businessman, maybe from Bombay or New Delhi or something like that. And they are very much a upper class. There is a division right away between these two families. He is very successful businessman. Dimple's dad is Catholic. I'm assuming he's Catholic. He has a cross. He's making the sign of the cross all the time of the Trinity. And he's a very poor working man. He's a fisherman. Very blue collar, we would say. Very salt of the earth here in America. So you have this division. You have this division of this love story. And you have these two lovers who are, longing to be each other's soulmates, trying to cross this division. And I think it's very, very, it's a timeless story, basically, that we can capture the heart and imagination of any young person who is in love with somebody that maybe mom or dad says is not the right choice. Right? Not the right choice. So we have the division. We have the division of religion in here. You have a guy, Dimple's father, who is Catholic, which I'm sure is not probably, especially in 1973, a very popular thing to be. I'm sure it was probably very difficult to be. So you have socioeconomical differences between the two. You have religious differences. You have geographical differences. In as much as I could deduce from the film, it looks like Kapoor's dad's trying to arrange a marriage for business purposes, and the woman that he's trying to get, this isn't going to sound very PC on my part, but I think she may be retarded, or something. There was something wrong with her, and you see it not working and not sticking, and the kids decide that they're going to run away, right? Because that's what young people do when they're in love, and the powers that be won't let them stay together. They're going to run away, which causes a whole series of how do we get the kids back? Where did they go? We need to get the kids together, and there's a reward, I guess, from what I could gather, a reward put out for help bringing these kids back home, and we get some goons. We get some, like, some fake mobster wannabes who are going to decide that we're going to capture these kids and we're going to get the money, yeah. And so we see this kind of kidnapping of these two that are out on the romantic getaway, and they're kidnapped, and we see Dimple's dad catch up with them. They're kind of, one step behind the two fathers. And this was probably my favorite scene of the movie is Dimple's dad, who is like, I don't know, he's probably 50, maybe. Would you guys say 50? He's kung fu fighting everybody. Who knew a Catholic fisherman knew kung fu? He's beating the crap out of this gang. He's flipping them. He's choking them. He's kicking them. Like, come on, dude. Really? That much? And even when the rich dad shows up, the Bombay dad shows up, he's giving some karate chops, man. These two old men, they ain't messing around. You don't mess with their kids, man. They're karate chopping, they're kicking. And so you have then the thuggy guy, the leader of the thugs, kind of take Rishi and put a knife to his throat to kind of back everybody off, right? Everybody just back away or I'll cut him kind of thing. And, there's more scuffling, and the police are there, or the army, or I think it was the police, and they shoot a couple of shots, and people flee. And it gives Dimple and Rishi an opportunity to run for it. And what do? They take off hand in hand, they run for it, and they get to the cliff, and this is what you do, right? It's so romantic. They're going to jump off the cliff together. We would rather die together than live apart. And they dive into this running river, kind of, rapids. I think it was supposed to be very scary whitewater rapids situation, but a couple of the shots, it looks like it's like ankle deep, which again is it's the period of time. I understand that. I'm not making fun of the film. It's just the period of time. Filmmaking was different back then, and so you see both dads jump in after the kids. And they're swimming, they're trying to capture, they're trying to help, they're trying to do all these things. And guess what happens, right? Can you guess what happens? Rishi's dad saves Dimple, Dimple's dad saves Rishi. And the movie started off with all these great divides between the two families of money, religion, ideology. We now see this great shot. I thought this was a great shot. There's a division of this water between the two families, each dad with the other dad's kid, and they're, one's on one side, one's on the other side, and they're giving their blessing to cross this union to let these kids get married or whatever they're going to do there. And I have to say this film was enjoyable. It truly was enjoyable. If you haven't seen Bobby, go check it out. You can go to my website, remnantxradio.com. Again, that's remnantxradio.com. You can go there. You can click on the Bollywood page. I have that movie up there that you can watch, and I also have the jukebox up that you can take a look at with all the songs from the film in it, and it was a lot of fun. I'm going to give this film, boy, this is a hard one. I'm going to give this film a solid B. This was a solid B film. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a good film. I enjoyed it. I became a big Dimple Kapadia fan after this. I thought she's very talented, and I'm interested in checking out more of her career kind of moving forward. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. That way you can stay up to date on all of our latest videos. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.